If you have searched for information about the $2,400 benefit increase and the 8 new changes to SSA, SSI, and SSDI, and found 3 different websites giving you 3 different answers about what those changes actually are and who qualifies for them, that is because these updates cover multiple programs with different rules, different eligibility requirements, and different effective dates, and most summaries lump them together in a way that makes it hard to know which change applies to your specific situation. Today we are going to go through all 8 of these changes in program by program so you can clearly identify which ones are relevant to you, what the actual dollar figures involved are, and how the SSA is implementing each update. No jargon, no combined figures that blend programs together. Just a clear explanation of each change, where it comes from, and what it means for recipients of Social Security retirement benefits, SSI and SSDI individually. I am Andrew, and I have spent time going through the SSA's official 2026 program updates, the cost of living adjustment announcements, the SSI federal benefit rate changes, and the updated SSDI earnings thresholds published at ssa.gov. Everything here comes directly from ssa.gov and the SSA's officially published benefit and program update notices. Before we get into this, if you find this kind of plain language explanation of Social Security, SSI, and SSDI rules useful, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week this channel covers one benefit topic in the same straightforward format, with no pressure and no drama. Now let us get into each of the 8 changes that affect SSA, SSI, and SSDI recipients in 2026, starting with the one that involves the $2,400 figure you may have seen referenced, and what that number actually represents. The most common misunderstanding about the $2,400 benefit increase referenced in discussions about 2026 SSA changes is that it represents a single new payment that every Social Security, SSI, or SSDI recipient will receive on top of their regular monthly benefit. This misunderstanding is completely understandable because the figure $2,400 is a round, memorable number that gets repeated in headlines and summaries without always specifying what program it applies to, over what time period it is calculated, or under what conditions a recipient would see that amount. But here is how it actually works. The $2,400 figure most commonly referenced in 2026 benefit discussions represents the annual value of the cost of living adjustment applied to Social Security retirement benefits, specifically the cumulative increase in annual benefit payments resulting from the 2026 COLA when spread across 12 monthly payments for a recipient near the average benefit level. It is not a lump sum. It is not a new program. It is the annualized result of the monthly COLA increase applied to a typical benefit amount. We are going to go through this and each of the other 7 changes in detail so that by the end of this video, you have a complete and accurate picture of every update and who it applies to. To make this concrete, let me use an example. Consider someone like Shirley. Shirley is 72 years old, lives in Little Rock, Arkansas, and worked for 31 years as a licensed practical nurse before retiring at 66. She receives a Social Security retirement benefit and also qualifies for a small SSI supplement based on her income level. When Shirley read about the $2,400 increase and 8 new changes, she believed she would receive a single check for $2,400 in addition to a regular February payment, and that all 8 changes would apply to her benefit simultaneously starting that month. Here is what was actually happening in Shirley's situation. The $2,400 figure represented the approximate annual increase in her Social Security retirement benefit resulting from the 2026 COLA, which works out to about $200 per month added to her existing payment. That $200 monthly increase had already been applied to her January 2026 payment, meaning she was already receiving it without recognizing it as a separate line item. Of the 8 program changes, 4 applied to her situation. The COLA increase to her retirement benefit, the updated SSI federal benefit rate, the revised SSI income exclusion threshold, and the updated resource limit review. The other 4 changes addressed SSDI earnings thresholds and rules that did not apply to her because she is not receiving SSDI. This is not unusual. Many recipients receive multiple Social Security program payments and assume all announced changes apply equally across all programs. Understanding which changes belong to which program answers the question clearly. Changes 1 and 2. The COLA increase and the $2,400 figure explained. Let us start with the foundation. The cost of living adjustment, commonly called the COLA, is an annual increase to Social Security benefit amounts that is tied to inflation. According to SSA.gov, the COLA is calculated each year based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. When the cost of living rises, the COLA increases benefit amounts to help recipients maintain their purchasing power. The 2026 COLA is 2.5%. For a Social Security retirement recipient receiving the average benefit of approximately $1,976 per month, a 2.5% increase adds roughly $49 per month, which over 12 months equals approximately $588 in additional annual income. For a recipient at the higher end of the benefit range, receiving closer to $3,200 per month, the annual increase reaches closer to $960. The $2,400 figure circulating in summaries of 2026 changes typically applies to recipients receiving benefits near the upper middle range of the distribution, or in some cases represents a rounded annual figure used for illustration purposes. Change 2, closely related to the COLA, is the updated maximum Social Security retirement benefit. According to SSA.gov, the maximum monthly benefit for a worker who claims at full retirement age in 2026 is $4,018, up from $3,822 in 2025. This is the second change. The ceiling on what the highest earning recipients can receive has increased. You might be wondering, does the COLA apply automatically? Or do I need to do something to receive it? The answer is that the COLA is applied automatically to every eligible recipient's benefit. No action is required. Changes 3 and 4. SSI federal benefit rate and income exclusion updates. Now that we understand the COLA changes, we can look at the updates specific to SSI. The SSI federal benefit rate, which is the maximum monthly SSI payment set by the federal government, increased in 2026 as a result of the COLA. According to SSI Gov, the 2026 maximum federal SSI benefit for an individual is $967 per month, up from $943 in 2025. For a couple where both partners receive SSI, the combined maximum is $1,450 per month. Change 4 involves the SSI earned income exclusion. The SSI excludes a portion of earned income when calculating how much SSI a working recipient receives. According to the SSI's program guidelines, the first $65 of earned income per month is excluded, and then half of the remaining earned income is also excluded. This structure has not changed, but the practical effect of the exclusion increases slightly each year as the federal benefit rate rises, because the exclusion calculation interacts with the updated benefit ceiling. In Shirley's situation specifically, the updated SSI federal benefit rate meant her SSI supplement increased modestly in January 2026 by approximately $24 per month based on her income level, and the new rate, in addition to the COLA increase to her retirement benefit. Changes 5, 6, 7, and 8. SSI earnings thresholds and program rule updates. This next part is where it gets more specific, and where it is most important to understand that these 4 changes apply to SSI recipients, not to SSI or retirement benefit recipients. SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, is a separate program from SSI, and its rules around work and earnings operate differently. Change 5 is the updated substantial gainful activity threshold for SSDI. According to SSI.gov, substantial gainful activity, commonly called SGA, is the earnings level above which the SSI considers a disability recipient to be working at a level that may affect their SSDI eligibility. In 2026, the SGA threshold for non-blind SSDI recipients is $1,620 per month, up from $1,550 in 2025. For blind SSDI recipients, the threshold is $2,700 per month in 2026. Change 6 is the updated trial work period monthly earnings threshold. According to SSA program guidelines, SSDI recipients are allowed to test their ability to work during a trial work period without immediately losing benefits. In 2026, a month counts as a trial work period month if the recipient earns more than $1,050, up from $1,010 in 2025. Change 7 involves updated continuing disability review timelines. The SSA periodically reviews SSDI cases to confirm that recipients still meet the medical criteria for disability. In 2026, the SSDA has adjusted its review scheduling to process cases in a catch-up cycle for reviews that were deferred during prior administrative periods. This does not change the criteria for disability, only the scheduling of when reviews occur. Change 8 is the updated extended period of Medicare eligibility for SSDI recipients who return to work. According to SSDI.gov, SSDI recipients who return to work and eventually lose their SSDI cash benefit retain Medicare coverage for 93 months, 7 years, and 9 months following the end of their trial work period. This rule has not changed numerically in 2026, but updated SSDI guidance has clarified how the 93-month period is calculated for recipients who had interrupted work activity during the trial work period. You might be wondering, if I receive both SSDI and SSDI, which of these 8 changes apply to me? The answer is that concurrent recipients, those who receive both programs, are affected by changes to both sets of rules. Changes 1 through 4 apply to the SSDI and Social Security portions of a concurrent recipient's benefit, and changes 5 through 8 apply to the SSDI portion of their case. One thing worth understanding about how these 2026 changes connect to Medicare is that the SSDI SGA threshold update affects when an SSDI recipient's Medicare coverage timeline begins. If a recipient's earnings push them past the SGA threshold and they exit SSDI, the 93-month Medicare continuation period starts from a specific point in their work activity record. Understanding the SGA threshold is therefore relevant not just to SSDI cash benefits, but to how long Medicare coverage continues after a recipient returns to work. This is not a warning, just something worth knowing so you have the complete picture. Before we finish, let me answer 3 questions that come up most often about the 2026 SSI and SSDI changes. Question 1. I heard about a $2,400 check. Is that a separate payment or part of my regular benefit? Answer: it is part of your regular benefit, not a separate check. The $2,400 figure represents the approximate annual increase in benefit payments for recipients near a certain benefit level, resulting from the 2026 COLA. It is distributed as a monthly increase across your 12 regular payments, not issued as a single additional payment. If your monthly benefit increased in January 2026, you are already receiving it. Question 2. Do the SSDI earnings threshold changes affect my SSI payment? Answer: no. SSI and SSDI have separate earnings rules. The SGA threshold and trial work period updates apply specifically to SSDI cases. SSI uses a different income calculation that is not tied to the SGA threshold. If you receive only SSI and not SSDI, the SSDI earnings changes have no effect on your SSI payment. Question 3. How do I find out exactly how much my benefit increased in 2026? Answer: the SSA mailed a COLA notice to every recipient in December 2025, showing the new benefit amount effective January 2026. If you did not receive that notice or misplaced it, you can log into your My Social Security account at SSA.gov to view your current benefit amount. Or call 1-800-772-1213 and ask a representative to confirm your updated payment figure. Everything we covered today applies generally, but your specific benefit situation, whether you receive one program or more than one, may have details that change how these 8 updates apply to your account. The most reliable way to get your exact answer is SSA.gov, where your My Social Security account shows your current benefit amount, your program type, and any recent adjustments applied to your account. For questions about your specific COLA increase or SSI rate change, call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213 and ask a representative to walk through your current benefit calculation. For Medicare questions related to SSDI work activity, Medicare.gov is the appropriate resource. For broader benefit eligibility questions, Benefits.gov provides a free screening tool. And if you need free in-person assistance, the Elder Care Locator at 1-800-677-1116 can connect you with a local benefits counselor. These resources are free, they are official, and they will give you answers specific to your situation, not general answers like this video does. One factual note before we finish. The SSA communicates by mail, not by phone calls, claiming you need to verify your information to receive your $2,400 increase, not by texts saying your benefit adjustment is pending approval, and not by emails asking for your Social Security number to process a new payment. If you receive communication like that, it is not from the SSA. You can verify any SSA communication by calling 1-800-772-1213 directly. I am curious, of these 8 changes to SSA, SSI, and SSDI, which one was most unclear to you before watching this? Leave it in the comments. The most common questions become future videos. That is the $2,400 benefit increase and the 8/2026 changes to SSA, SSI, and SSDI, explained as clearly as I can put it. If something is still unclear, the comment section is open and I read every question. If this was useful, share it with someone who saw the $2,400 figure and was not sure what program it referred to or how it applied to their situation. I am Andrew. I will see you in the next one.